Hello, everyone. Good and welcome back to my channel. Today we are at day 18 of the daily code challenge, and we again have a easy level question in front of us. It's question 1913, maximum product difference between two pairs. Let us see what the question is, and then we will discuss. In this particular question, I will be like explaining you the brute force approach, which is very very simple, and then we will try to see the optimized approach, which is again simple. But the trick, when you see this kind of questions, the trick mainly lies in finding the space and time complexity. Okay, because you may be able to solve it using both the brute force and the optimized approach, but finding the correct space and time complexity is the key. Okay, that is where most people lack in the interview setup. Okay, so let's see what the question is first. So the product difference between two pairs, okay, A comma B and C comma D is defined as you can see, it's very simple and clear the way they have defined it. It's very simple and clear. A star B minus C star D, okay. And they've given some examples as well. You can just see it 5 to 6 minus 2 to 7, okay. So they are saying, given an integer array nums, okay, here we are given integer array in the input. Choose four distinct indices, okay, W, X, Y, Z. They should be distinct, they cannot be same, such that product differences between the pairs, this thing is maximized. Okay, they are trying to say that you have to select four indices here such that when you do the product difference between them, that is number one into number two minus number three into number four, you get the maximized value. Okay, that's what they're trying to say. Let's see the example first. This is something given to us. They are saying us to find the maximized product difference. That is the way they mention it. So see, the thing is very clear. We want this thing to be maximized. Okay, we want this thing to be maximized. How it is possible? First possibility is to make this as maximum as possible. Okay, this is the first approach. Second thing is to make this thing as low as possible, because it's a subtraction, right? It's a subtraction, as you can see. So when we are subtracting and we want the difference to be as big as possible, first thing we can do is to make this as great as possible. Second thing we can do is to make this as small as possible. Okay, so that how we can achieve that. The answer is very simple. If we see, this is the array, right? It's not sorted one, as you can clearly see. If we could sort it and get the biggest number and the second biggest number in place of A and B, okay, then we will ensure that we are getting the maximum possible numbers here. Okay, similarly, if we once we sort it, we will get the smallest number and the second smallest number, right? In that case, we will ensure that this is again the smallest. Okay, the smallest possible in the given conditions, in the given scenario. Okay, that's what we are going to do. If you see, 6 and 7 in this case is the seventh is the 7 is the highest and 6 is the second highest. Okay, so 6 into 7 ensure that this thing is biggest. Okay, next we have to reduce this thing. Okay, how to reduce this thing? So we'll take the smallest and the second smallest. So 2 and 4 are the smallest and the second smallest, so it becomes this. Okay, 42 minus 8, it becomes this. And same is the case of this. Okay, you are taking 9 and 8, which are the biggest possible here in this case, and you are taking the smallest one, which is 24 in this case. Okay, so the one thing that you would like to notice is that remember, the base constraint is 4. Okay, that is, it will start from 4, so you don't have the case where you don't have four distinct ones. Okay, so that is, you don't have to see. But remember one thing, the length can be up to 10 power 4. So sorting, as you might be doing, takes n log n time. Okay, as you will see also, it will okay, let me explain you the problem first. But just for your information, sorting, as you might be thinking, is not that simple. It is really a time consuming operation. Okay, so the best approach, in the brute force, this is the brute force approach, by the way, is to simply sort it out. Okay, once you sort it, remember in Python, if you don't mention anything, okay, reverse equal to do something like that. If you don't mention, it will sort in the ascending order. Ascending in the sense, the small, that is the zeroth index will be the smallest number, and the n minus one index will be the highest number. Okay, the biggest number. So that's what I'm doing. See, the one approach is that you can take the length of this and write it as n, and you can keep n minus 1 here. But I wanted to show you that this there are different ways of doing it in Python. One option is that just a second. Yeah, in Python, the approach is that if you write minus one, which basically means it will take the last value, okay, the last value towards the right, okay, and as the second last value towards the right, okay, that's what it is. So if I have to take the maximum and the second maximum value, I will do minus one and minus two, okay, nums of minus one into nums of minus two, okay, this will get me the. See, after sorting, if I do that, it will give me the biggest value and the second biggest value, okay, minus, and this is very simple, okay, nums of zero is, as you might be knowing, if we have sorted in the ascending order, nums of zero is going to be the smallest integer possible in that particular setup, in that particular array. So nums of 0 and nums of 1 is the second possible. Okay. So you're subtracting these two and you're getting the answer. Just me quickly and show you. As you can see, the test case are getting accepted and you can submit it also. That is fine. But as I mentioned, this is a brute force approach, and this is not a optimized approach. If you talk about the time complexity of it, okay, let me minimize this first. If you talk of the time complexity of it, okay, this is going to be O of n log n. Why like that? Because see, this operation takes O of n log n time, right? We are not doing any other operations. The next question which will come to your mind is why we are writing space complexity O of n. Okay, we have not used any data structure additionally. Okay, whatever is given, we are simply manipulating that. We have not used anything additionally. Then how this O of n comes in Python? The way this sort function is implemented, you will need a space complexity O of n for this. Okay, additionally, though it is not mentioned simply directly visible to the eyes, but the idea here is internally when you implement the sort function you will need based on the length of the array being sorted, you will need some extra space. So if you are in an interview and you can safely make some assumptions that I am not including the uh, data structure which I've not used in a space complexity, and then maybe you can say it's so often. But if you are asked to do it explicitly, then definitely you will have to take the into considerations the space required for this. Okay, so this was all about the brute force solution. Now coming to the optimized solution. This is the optimized solution which I have designed. So here I will keep four variables because we need ultimately the answer we need four variables, right? So big one, big two. Big one means the first biggest, big two means the second biggest. That is, big one is will be greater than big two. Similarly, I have small one and small two. Small one is the smallest, small two is the second smallest. Okay, so yeah, bigger ones I've initialized them with zero. The small ones I've initialized them with the float of infinity. Okay, this is the way we write float of infinity. Please make a note of it if you are a fresher or preparing for interviews, or if you are going to attend online assessments. The extension will help you a lot. Okay, instead of simply hard coding a direct value, you can simply give float of infinite. Okay, now what we are doing is we are going through each of the numbers in that array. Then we are doing two operations here. Okay, this is the first step and this is the second if condition. Okay, so what we're doing, I will just quickly show you. That is if I is greater than my big one. That is, remember, big one is the biggest possible number. Okay, if my number is big one, initially big one is zero. Okay, so if I is greater than big one, what I will do is first thing is, see, previous to this number, previous to this index, big one is the biggest. Okay, so first of all, I will transfer the big one's value to big two. Okay, then I will reinitialize big one with I. Okay, as I is greater than big one, I will reinitialize big one with I. But I will save the big one's value, the previous value of big one to big two. Okay, because the previous value of big one was the biggest till then. Okay, so I will save it to big two. This is what we'll do if I is greater than big one. If I is not greater than big one, what I will do? See. Remember one thing, that could be a case that though I is not greater than big one, it may still be greater than big two, right? That can be a case, right? So that for ensuring that what we are doing is we are doing this in the else part. Big two is equal to max of the initial value of big two or the current value of I. Okay, that is what we are doing. Same is the case for the smaller ones also. This is what we are doing. I will check if I is smaller than a small one. Okay, if that is the case, I will transfer the small one's value to small two, and then I will update small one to the current value of I. Okay, if this is not the case, okay, so there could be a case, right? Though I is not smaller than small one, still I can be smaller than small two, right? That's what we are doing. So we are again checking if that is the case. If small two is really smaller than the ith value or ith value is smaller than small 2, in that case we'll update the small 2. Okay, finally we'll do this operation big 1 into big 2 minus small 1 into small 2. If I could quickly run and show you, you clearly see this works, and yeah, I have taken to the solution, it's getting submitted, right? So that is fine. But the most important part here is how to find the time complexity. Okay, uh, as I've used a follow loop, you will be guessing it correctly that it is often. That is fine. In the previous case also, as we had n log n, but in this case we are having often, so it's slightly better. Now coming to space complexity, remember we are not using any sort operation here. Okay, we are not using any sort operation here, and we are using just for variables which are constant, so it does not depend on n. Okay, that is the most important part. It does not depend on the length of the array given to us. Okay, so in that case it will be O of constant. Okay, you can write it O of constant, and you can this symbolically is represented as O of 1. Okay, so yeah, friend, that was all for today. This was an easier question, but still remember, see, from my experience what I will say is that when you see easier question, don't think like I can solve it easily. Don't think like that. You will have to think of many approaches to do it. Okay, in an interview, if you see such a question, don't simply jump to the coding part. Okay, try to discuss everything with the interviewer. First code the worst possible solution, then try to go for the slightly improved, like that. Okay, you have to use all the time given in the interview. Okay, so don't simply code it like in 5 minutes and then waste the other time. Okay, if you have to get make impression in the interview, you will have to code the worst possible solution, which is obviously like solving this problem. but at the same time you will have to, in some corner of your mind, think of how to improve it further. Okay, that is what it is all about. They want to see your thinking capability, not like if you are getting the answer in the first approach itself. Okay, that's what I want you to focus more on. Okay, so yeah, that was all for today. And if you want to solve more problems, maybe you can like check out the Geeks for Geeks also. They also have the problem of the day. I've already solved that and I've uploaded the video here. It was again easier question, but yeah, you will get to learn a lot about XOR property, okay, of the bitwise XOR property. You can maybe check out this video. So yeah, that was all for today. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.